Okay, I think we're live. I thought I'd start, yeah, just like a minute early because I saw there were some people already in chat. So hello, Peter, Miss Foxification, Venice. Nice to see you. See who else joins us. I mean, you know, I think all the Liberal Party are locked in a party room somewhere. I should actually have a tab open for the latest news because the story's been changing so quickly today. It's okay. Yeah, okay. It seems like they're confirming Julie Bishop's going to challenge. So it's all happening. Hey, Catherine. Oh, there you go, Catherine. Turned on the Xbox, and there I was. Yeah, I mean, this is just an incredible sideshow we're seeing. Hi, Charlie. Uh, uh, it's such a clusterfuck. It's amazing. And the way Turnbull seems to be going for like a nuclear option. He's just kind of said, okay, fuck you all. If I'm losing the job, I'm taking you with me. I think he said he's basically said, okay, first, enough MPs. I think it has to be 43 sitting MPs have to sign a letter saying they want a special party room meeting to have a vote on the leadership. And if he gets that, then he said he's not going to stand. He will resign, which would lose the government its one seat majority. And it looks like the people contesting the vote, which is almost inevitably going to happen, would be Julie Bishop, Peter Dutton, and Scott Morrison. Now, you'd say as an outsider, it feels like, well, wouldn't Julie Bishop and Scott Morrison split the same people's votes and work in favour of Dutton? But I could be wrong. I think what they, I don't know. I don't think you have to have a majority. I don't know how it works because when Abbott knocked off Turnbull in opposition, he wasn't even, you know, the front runner. He wasn't the one challenging, but some votes were split between Turnbull and someone else, and Abbott ended up with the most votes. I don't even know if their party rule is you have to have a majority. Like, you know, sometimes they do runoffs. It's like if there's 3 people in the race, it's like, okay, have a vote. Okay, whoever got the least votes, they're out. Now we have another vote with just the last 2, and whoever wins that wins. I don't know if that's what they do or if they just go, however many are there, whoever has the most votes wins in the first round. I don't know how it works. Hey, Will, how's it going? Catherine, we are almost certainly staring down the barrel of a general election sooner rather than later. Because apparently Turnbull said he's straight up going to resign Parliament, not resign from the Liberal Party and stay there as an independent until the next election, that he'll just resign, forcing a by-election, and then who knows? I mean, in his seat, because a lot of Liberal Party voters are pissed off with the Liberal Party doing this shit. If a prominent Conservative ran as an independent in his seat, they might win because the Liberal Party fucking have to pull someone out of the woodwork to stand in the seat. So they're, you know, not likely to be a huge amount of name recognition. So if an independent won the seat, because I could be wrong, but I don't think Labor person's likely to win a by-election in Turnbull's seat. But if a Conservative independent won, that means, yeah, minority government and an extremely high chance of a vote of no confidence happening, and yeah, they lose government. Catherine, glad he has the balls to straight out quit. Oh yeah, the way Rudd hung around, it's Rudd was a fucking jerk off, basically. And hello, Celtic King and Rukusan. Celtic King, my thoughts on necrophilia. Bad idea, dude, for just all sorts of reasons. Mm. And where's Minty? She was here just earlier, acting like she was really settling in. So I thought we might have her for the evening, but she vanished. I don't know, she might come back. Love you too, Celtic King. Always good to have your enthusiastic voice here. Oh, and hello, Tendai. Nice to see you. Yeah, so it's nothing if not interesting in Australian politics now. So yeah, it's like Turnbull's just he's basically done a throwdown with the party. He's decided to call out the extreme right of his own party and say they're a bunch of nongs, and he's put a lot more pressure on them, saying, "No, you have to come forward and publicly declare that this is what you want to happen." Uh, oh my god, I love this. I was just looking at an article. This is one of the ABC website saying Turnbull's forcing his colleagues to come and get him. And Turnbull apparently is convinced that the longer they have to consider their actions and the more opportunity to interact with carbon-based life forms who are not other panic-stricken, despairing members of the coalition party room, the better his chances of survival are. Yeah, it's like the Liberal, it's bizarre to me that the Liberal Party don't understand how much their own constituency doesn't want them to be doing this. And that Dutton himself, who was the front runner, he's electoral poison. And the fact they don't seem to be understand this does my head in. Hey, Feeler and Sealer. It's really fucking weird. Oh, Frank, hey, how's it going? Oh, you like the wank fan? Oh, dude, it's like it's only 24 hours later, and the situation's gotten bizarre. Oh well, I don't know who Isaac Butterfields is. I won't be offended if you vary your viewing of streams for the evening. Culture King. Toby's eating peanut butter M&Ms and drinking wild turkey and Guinness in separate glasses, hopefully. I don't have wild turkey. I have Maker's Mark bourbon, I think. No, not for any big preference, because purists would hate me because I don't drink the various spirits for themselves. I make cocktails with them. I did some shopping today. Yeah, that's an exciting update, isn't it? And there's this weird things on special. These cooking things they call. I've never even seen them before. They're really cheap. They call them baking paste, and it's flavour to go in baking. But I thought that would dissolve in a drink, and I got a lime one, and this is it. I mixed it in with vodka, so I've got lime vodka lemonade happening here. And it's pretty good, actually. Will, he's Isaac Butterfields is a comedian, Aussie comedian with a beard. Well, I like him already. Yes, Frank, Aussie politics is certainly funny at the moment and is absolutely deranged at the moment, quite frankly. Catherine, not sure whether you love or hate Australian politics. It's like it's it's just fucked. It's just it's a clusterfuck. I love that phrase. It's just like as a phrase that the US military used, clusterfuck. The more people who get involved, the worse the fuck up gets. It starts off as a fuck up, and then other people get involved in the fuck up and make it worse until it becomes a clusterfuck. And that's what we're seeing. Yes, Tento, that's the Blumenthal of drink. I do experiment quite a bit with what I flavour drinks with. The various things I've flavoured drinks with include herbs and fruit and a whole bunch of like lollies, sweets, dozens probably different ones. And yeah, and I found this new thing, this baking paste. So I'm trying that on bitters, of course. Hey, Hest, is Aidsy doing any better? He is not well, and I did see Will also asking me how Aidsy was. I'm going to try and get him because I just finished a contract and I haven't started a new one yet. It might not be until next week, but I'm going to try and get him during the week, whether it's for a live stream or to make a video. Hey, Tara, how's it going? There you go, Celtic King. You asked just at the point where Tara arrived. Catherine, you know what people want is like Labor must be sitting back and like having good, hard talks with themselves and saying, look, okay, all it will take for us to appear to be the most competent, together, successful government in living memory is to not fuck up, to not fight with each other, to not tear each other apart. Do you think we could do that? Just like handle it like fucking grown-ups rather than having factional fights? Could we all like just seriously agree on what our policy is, what our platform is? And they'd be seen, you know, they'd be seen as the most responsible grown up ever. On this Foxification, you're saying Penny Wong already made a motion of no confidence. I didn't know that. So much has gone on. I didn't know that. Yeah, I'm kind of with you that I'd wait for the result of the vote because it'd be easier to get it. But I think maybe Penny smells blood in the water and is just fucking going for them. Game of Frost, you don't care who's the new PM as long as Turnbull's are. I think that's now a foregone conclusion. I mean, that's funny. Like, so much has happened this week, but as soon as an actual vote happened, even though Turnbull won the vote, it's like, dude, you're fucking dead in the water. The fact that that even happened means you are dead in the water. And it's only taken 2 more days to verify, you know, like almost definitely by tomorrow he's going to be gone. RxN, Penny Wong's ruthless. Yeah, Penny Wong is fucking, in parliamentary terms, a fucking assassin. And Jesus, do not get on the wrong side of her. If she fucking goes you, you know someone's had a go at you, essentially. I will always live in my memory. One of my favorite moments is from a couple years ago when Joe Hockey was still around. Penny Wong, I think it was in the ABC studios, but it was in some interview studios anyway. Might have even been in Parliament House, I'm not sure. But Penny Wong had been in a room being interviewed, and she came out, and Joe Hockey was going in to where she was coming out of, and there were cameras rolling, like there were cameras with Joe Hockey, and they were rolling, and they crossed paths and made eye contact, and Joe Hockey goes, "Hi, Penny," and she just looked at him with contempt and rolled her eyes and walked past him without saying anything more than that. It's just like, wow, wow, do not fuck with Penny Wong, man. She will fuck you up. And she just goes people in the Senate. She doesn't let people off the hook when she considers them to be transgressors. She goes them in a big way. She is definitely my favourite Australian politician. Oh, and don't worry about the haters, Celtic King. They're sad little waifs, desperate for attention. It's just, it remains the funniest thing to me that they're so obsessed with me. And it's like, seriously, if there was someone that I was pissed off with, I just wouldn't waste time on them. I wouldn't use up my time on them. I was just feeling silly. There's an old joke in New Zealand. Fellow walks up to the chief, notices a spear sticking out of his back. And hey, chief, do you know there's a spear in your back? Chief says, yep. That way I know my people are behind me. Oh, yeah, that's where the spear's coming from. There was one, because the party room is known as the caucus, and I don't know when the joke was actually first told, but I first heard it about Bob Hawke back in the day when he was Prime Minister, and he was having a bit of trouble with his own caucus, and like they were arguing things that he wanted to do. And the joke goes that after a particularly rowdy caucus meeting, Hawkey comes out and the media are there, and they go, Mr. Hawke, how did the party meeting go just then? And Hawke says, well, now I know the difference between a caucus and a cactus. In a cactus, all the pricks are on the outside. Political humour. Yeah, Miss Fox vacation and that senpai, and they want to notice them. Yes, Frankie, I was also presuming in Fila and Sealer's joke where they said Rangatira for cheap Samara. Actually, okay, here's a little bit where I'll betray my ignorance, because this isn't something I've looked into. How many Maori languages are there? Because Aboriginal Australians across the continent, there are hundreds of languages. And I realise I've never actually looked into it. I don't know how many Maori languages there are, because New Zealand's smaller, so there's obviously got to be fewer. Maybe there's one language. I actually don't know. Frankie, you're saying the Maori have a single language. Yeah, that would make sense. A much smaller area. I saw Charlie when Gough Whitlam responded to someone saying, I'm a country member. He responded, I remember. Yes, Gough Whitlam was also a cutting individual. Like that one I said about Bob Hawke, he never actually said it. That was just a joke. But people who had a very strong grasp of the language and could be very cutting with their invective, Gough Whitlam was certainly known for it. And a bit later than that, Paul Keating was also renowned for his rather verbose insults. Celtic King, has Jashama been in? Yes, I believe so. Still comes into the streams regularly. Was possibly here on Tuesday. Hi, good day, Pat Man. How are you going? I feel like looking some up now. If I up Gough Whitlam quotes, because he was famous. I mean, like when he got sacked by the Governor General, his two most famous lines in that were, well may you say, God save the Queen, because nothing will save the Governor General. The Governor General was Sir John Kerr, and because the whole thing was instigated by the opposition leader, Malcolm Fraser, who at the next election became Prime Minister. And the other thing Whitlam said was, you know, Malcolm Fraser will go down in history as Kerr's Kerr. I'm just. This is a famous one. Gough was apparently being heckled on the campaign trail by someone who wanted to know his opinion on abortion. And his answer said that, let me make it quite clear that I am for abortion. And in your case, sir, we should make it retrospective. Wow, that guy went on to become Prime Minister. Damn. Oh yeah, and he was famous for a big Indigenous rights decision, Vincent Lingari, immortalised in the Paul Kelly song "From Little Things Big Things Come." That's interesting. I was looking to see if there are any other good quotes. They don't really leap out at me. Music Clavity saying the Maori language is from the same language family as Hawaiian. I guess so. Pacific Islanders. Oh, oh, Frankie, that is a common urban legend that kangaroo means I don't know. And that is not a true story. It's renowned that because, again, the Indigenous Australians had many languages, and the story goes that you know, the white settlers pointed at a kangaroo, which was an interesting thing, and said, "What's that called?" And the Aborigine said kangaroo, and so they came up with kangaroo. And then ages later, talking to another Aborigine, they said, "Oh, the guy is kangaroo." He goes, "Why are you calling it kangaroo?" He goes, "But that's what it's called." And he goes, "Kangaroo just means I don't know." And so the idea was that this guy had said, "I don't know." It's not actually true, but it's a fun story anyway. Game of Frost, you're updating Fortnite and then diving in. Oh dear. Oh my God, Locust Trooper, you're in a cheeseburger mood. I did go to my local burger place, just last night, but I got some different things. They had this special with, you know, their house-made popcorn chicken with a cheese sauce and some loaded chips with like brisket and cheese. Basically, I had popcorn chicken and chips last night. Will, what am I drinking? Well, we had this little discussion earlier. I found this stuff at the supermarket today called baking paste. This is a cinnamon one, which I'm going to put in a drink. But I got a lime one as well. This is for baking, apparently. You squeeze it, mix it in. When they said it, and when it said that, and it was on specials, like that was 50 cents or something, it said that it mixed into baking. I thought, well, I bet I could mix that into a drink. And so I did. I mixed it into some vodka, and so this is like a lime vodka lemonade. Very nice. Oh, Rukazan, it's non-stop gourmet burgers in Melbourne. Just in my immediate surrounding suburbs, I can think of like one, two, three, four. I can think of like six or seven upmarket burger places just in the surrounding suburb or two. There's actually probably more like 10 now that I think about it, just in the surrounding suburb or two. I've heard that too, Game of Frost, that a town named Wagga Wagga means many crows or something like that. I've heard that. Oh yeah, Fila and Sela. They used that kangaroo story on that Alien First Contact movie. What was it called? Arrival. And she actually uses it as a joke. She tells it to the military person. Then she says that it's not even a true story. Because I'm sitting there watching this movie and they're telling this story, and I'm going, really, really, a movie all about language? You're bloody saying a not true story? Then she said it's not true. Frank, lunch is over. Thanks for dropping by, mate. Tendai, do any of them have avocado burgers? Oh, there's lots of burgers that have avocado on them, definitely. Yeah. Yes, Peter, you're right. I agree. Dutton's got the popularity in the electorate of an unpolished Abbott turd. Oh my God, that was one of the really weird rumours I heard this afternoon, that if there is a vote called tomorrow, uh, Abbott's going to stand because he's just been using Dutton all along, just pushing Dutton to shake shit up. And because Abbott knew no one would do a leadership challenge on his say so, but he's used Dutton to force a vote, and he intends to stand, which would be absolutely hilarious if that happened. I was just like, oh my God, it's just so hard to believe they are so fucked up. Catherine, you think there should be a burger with the avocado as a bun? That would be a very small burger. Um, but I mean, I personally, yeah, I like avocado as a topping in a burger, toasted sandwich with cheese on a pizza. This is what you get all the arguments about weird pizza toppings. I think avocado is good on pizza. I've had avocado on pizza quite a few times. Yeah, misfoxification. It is something like 6 p.m.s. No, it's changes of prime minister. If you go for changes of prime minister, we had Howard lost an election, so then we had Rudd, who was replaced from within his own party by Gillard, who was then replaced by Rudd again, who lost an election to Abbott, who was replaced by Turnbull from within his own party. And tomorrow we'll probably have another PM, whoever that may be, and then they're almost certainly going to lose the next election to Labor. So you'd be looking at like 8 changes of prime minister in like 10 years. Yes, Batman shortens big election campaign. I'm not that guy. It's worked for him. It's kind of bullshit that it's worked for him, but it has worked for him. Oh, Miss Foxification. The chicken pesto club from Crust has avocado on it. It's delicious. Okay, good. Good. Locust Trooper, how many seats do I think Labor will win in the election? Look, based on recent voting patterns and based on the Liberals upsetting the electorate even more, I think it's perfectly feasible Labor could pick up 20 seats in the next election. They'll probably pick up at least 10. But it's well within the bounds of possibility that they could pick up 20 or more in the next election. So the Conservatives are going to be in all sorts of shit. I like that, Jacob. You were out doing man stuff, sawing wood with your dad when all the bullshit with the politicians went on. You're doing real stuff, sawing wood, and the politicians are doing stupid shit. I'm completely on board with you. You are doing a far more valuable thing than the politicians. Well, you want Abbott to come back, see all the fuck ups. It's just like it's like the Liberals are so blinkered they don't realise how much they're fucking up because they're seriously fucking up. Oh, Game of Frost, that's a big ask. You don't care whose PM is like, they aren't going to ruin the country. Wow, dude, that is a big ask right there. So I don't know if there's anyone who can confidently lay claim to delivering on that. And you're right, Charlie. It's bizarre because then with Howard, we had the one prime minister for 10 years, and then we're going to have probably 8 changes of prime minister in the following 10 years. And you're right, Rikistan, that they've been fucking up since day one. I mean, it's bizarre when you look at Gillard as a prime minister leading a minority government, got a huge amount of legislation through. And the coalition, since they've been in power, have done just this side of fuck all while they've had a majority. It's because they're so obnoxious and aggressive. They can't accomplish anything. Yeah, Game Frost, do you want to be PM? Ruki-san said he's already PM. Look, at this point, it's like anyone has the validity to call themselves PM because the shit that's happening is simply ridiculous. It's absolutely bizarrely ridiculous. But of course, don't forget, we don't vote for Prime Minister. This is one of the things where I get pedantic and get a little bit antsy about it because you regularly get people saying, oh, vote such and such for Prime Minister. And he goes, well, you don't vote for Prime Minister. You vote for your local representative. And the party or coalition that has the most seats in the parliament or gets to form a government, they might be a minority government, they might be a majority government, but the party or coalition that forms government votes internally within their own party for a leader and that person's prime minister. The public don't vote for prime minister. Certainly, whoever the prime minister is or whoever the leader of the political party is can influence your vote. And for a lot of people, it does influence the vote. They go, oh, okay, although I'm voting for my local member, that person's the leader of the party and they're going to be the strongest driving force in policy. So that's influencing my vote. But you don't actually vote for prime minister. And in fact, there are lots of cases where people in certain electorates, oh, bye Celtic and Toby, we all love you too. There are certain electorates where people vote. There's a very popular local member who's not the same party as the prime minister. And people vote for a local member, whether they be independent or a different party. They vote for someone, like they want this particular political party to be in charge and they want that person to be prime minister, but they don't vote for that person's party in the local election because they've got a strong local member who they like more, who they think will represent their local interests better. Politics can be a complicated thing. So, well, what about Bob Catter? I'm off that guy so bad. Like I've said words in his defense in the past, but he's said the most stupid, ridiculous, brain dead, racist shit this past week. Fuck him. I'm never saying anything favorable about that motherfucker again. It's like it's absolutely despicable, shameless, racist bullshit that him and his fucking sidekick are promoting. It's absolutely disgusting. I'm revolted by it. Game for it's good to go, man. Thanks for dropping by, man. See you another time. Into your Fortnite. I still haven't played that. Yep, I'm having one of these mysterious hooded visitors to the kitchen. You're looking for ice cream? Yeah. Did you see all the exotic ice creams I got?
Very briefly.
Oh, you're just having that one. That's okay. We had bangers and mash for dinner. made some mashed potato from scratch and cooked up some sausages and bangers and mash. Now it's obviously dessert time. Oh, sorry, I get what you're saying there, Pat Man. Exactly. Bob Katter used to be in the National Party, which is the junior party of the Conservative Coalition. And yes, he is so popular locally that he gets voted in, even though most of the people who vote for him want the Conservative major parties to be in power and their leader to be Prime Minister, but they don't vote for a member of that party in their local election. So like Bob Katter, you are correct. That he is a good illustration of what I was talking about. Jacob, you haven't forgiven Julie Bishop for Board of Studies doing you over in the HSC. Damn. Oh, yeah. God, it sucks when education's made political football. I hate that. Because that's young Miss Angry getting some ice cream. Oh, Will, you saw that tweet about Alan Jones, thought it was Alex Jones. It's hard to keep them straight because they're both, right-wing shock jocks full of shit. No, this was actually Australian Alan Jones just used a really racist phrase and seemed surprised that he's getting massive career-threatening blowback. And so he's probably going to do a press conference tomorrow where he will talk utter shit and just be a pathetic, simpering gimp, not take any responsibility for what he said, and not even really acknowledge it. Kind of like when he said all that shit about Julia Gillard, and he's having a press conference ostensibly to apologize, and he didn't apologize. He's just upset at everyone for knowing what a horrible, hateful piece of shit he is. And hey, why did you get arrested in that public toilet in England back in 1988, Alan? You actually never publicly talked about that, despite your lies saying you would. But, Will, Alex Jones is equally likely to have said ridiculous racist shit, but he wouldn't apologise. He wouldn't even draw breath for it because I don't think it would have that much effect on him. It is kind of joyful to see him getting booted from the various major social media platforms for his lies and hate speech. I fucking hate it when people go, oh, but what about free speech? It's like, okay, A, fuck you. Free speech never, ever means you are owed a platform. And one of the many things, or yeah, I'll go to two of the many things you are never covered under free speech, slander and libel, and inciting violence against people. And he is currently on trial for slandering the parents of Sandy Hook victims. And the deranged shit he says is going to get someone killed. He is literally going to get someone killed by whipping up very unstable people into believing completely deranged conspiracies. Grumble, how disloyal is Michaela Cash? Very probably. I'm not. I don't know exactly what you're referring to, but I'll just go out on a limb. How fucking disloyal is Michaela Cash? Fucking disloyal. I'll take it. Well, has she turned on Turnbull? I don't know. I mean, there are so many rumours flying about. There's the rumours that Julie Bishop was going to resign and turn on Turnbull, and Matthias Cormann was going to resign and turn on Malcolm Turnbull, and neither of those happened. But now Turnbull's gone for his bloody nuclear option and said if people put their names on a piece of paper saying they want a party group meeting for a vote, he'll do it, but then he's going to resign. He won't stand in any vote. And so, yeah, apparently the people who are openly saying they will stand, Dutton, Morrison, and Bishop. And as I said a bit earlier, the very wild rumour that Abbott might stand. Pat, will I be happy if Dutton becomes Prime Minister? No, because Dutton is a hideous, awful, reprehensible, vile excuse for a human. And he's probably not in a position to actually implement any policy or legislation that would be particularly damaging, but he could certainly say a bunch of shit and whip up the racist sentiments that he's so shamelessly been doing for the last couple of years. He could very much damage Australian public discourse quite badly and endanger various minorities by whipping racists up. You may be right, Ms. Foxvocation, that Turnbull himself may have asked Bronwyn Bishop to declare that she'll stand and told his supporters that may well be the case, that he thinks she's more palatable than Dutton. Who knows? Wow. I like that, Jacob. Dutton looks like the senator for Innsmouth with the HP Lovecraft racist dog whistle of the teeth ones to match. My God. Okay, that's kind of left field hardcore sports. EA is a lot worse fucker, as in Electronic Arts, the video game company. They're unpopular with a lot of people. Tara, you raise another interesting point. Dutton may not even be eligible to be in Parliament. That's another completely bizarre. Australian politics, man, what a fucking disaster. So Peter, your husband's my biggest fan. Nice. Oh, good. Oh, I'm glad that he likes my videos. I'm super glad that he feels the strength as an HIV positive nurse to take on multinational corporations and win. That's fucking awesome. Massive thumbs up from me for standing up for your rights. I'm way on board. Ted, I just wait to hear about ActiBliss. Oh my God, are Activision and Blizzard joining? Is that what that is? Ha! Jacob, Ladbroke's placing bets on Libspill. Depends what their bets are. I know the laws about gambling in Australia have hit this weird amorphous thing. Like occasionally, Ladbrokes have been told they've got to stop a book on certain things. I don't know exactly how it works, but then, I know feeling too. It's not that Dutton's a Kiwi. It's another thing about financial interests. I think he has financial interests in childcare centres that have been getting government money, that there's a legal argument that that's in contravention of the Constitution and renders him ineligible to be in Parliament. It's fucking weird, man. Yeah. But I think we don't get news on any vote until tomorrow at the earliest. But yes, the Julie Bishop possibility is an interesting one. Oh, Tendai, you're saying that Activision and Blizzard did join together. Okay, fair enough. Oh, Patman, if the spill goes ahead, very high probability we get a general election before the end of the year. Like very high probability. It has to happen by, I think, May next year. But Turnbull said he's going to resign. So if that requires a by-election, someone apart from a Liberal might win that, and that would lose the government their majority, and they might lose the no confidence vote. Hell, even just if it goes ahead, Turnbull says he's going to resign. The opposition may run a no confidence vote that may get up, even with the parliament in its current state. It's very hard to be sure. Sorry. I'm so glad I was drinking when I read that, Jacob. I think you hit the nail on the head. Dutton owns a daycare centre so he can devour the souls of children. and you will not accept any other explanation. You may well be on to something. What am I watching? Oh, I was watching Deadpool 2 today, and the whole thing with the orphanage for mutant kids and the evil people running it. You made me think of that. Yes. Well, you're right, RC. The ALP had their big split in, was it the 70s, where the extremely conservative fringe of the Labor Party split off into the Democratic Labor Party. The very conservative Catholic part of the Labor Party split off. And the ALP has um, a long history of self-destruction. And yeah, and the Libs always prided themselves they didn't do it. Well, they're doing it now, and they're doing it. Oh, Peter, that's so sweet. See, husband's in tears after that. Need more people. Man, I am so 100% behind Yahavi standing up to the fuckers and claiming rights, because fuck that noise. I hate the way big companies fuck people over. People are already marginalized, getting fucked over. The fact that he stood up to them and won, he's a champ. I love it. That's him. Grumble, Bob Santamaria, BA Santamaria. There are some really interesting videos you can still see on YouTube. Bob Santamaria used to do these political speeches that got broadcast really late night on Australian TV, and some of them are way out there. And they're on YouTube. You can find them. Look up Bob Santamaria or BA Santamaria. His stuff was really fucking weird. That's it. Point of view, RC. I think they're on there. If I do a quick YouTube search on Santa Maria, oh, obviously that means lots of different things. Yeah, Bob Santa Maria point of view. See how many videos are there on YouTube. The Gillies report making fun of him. Little doco on him. But yeah, there are a few videos of and about Bob Santamaria on YouTube. Very, very interesting part of Australian history, recent Australian history, like 70s Australian history. Oh, look, Grumble, I wouldn't be surprised that there has already been a murder influenced by Alex Jones, but him and the deranged people who were pushing the Pizzagate conspiracy, they pushed to the point a guy showed up at the pizza parlor that was the center of this deranged conspiracy. He showed up with a weapon. And they've doubled down and gone into the truly bizarre conspiracy known as QAnon, which is just absolutely ridiculous. As this conspiracy that basically everyone they don't like is a pedophile, and the Mueller investigation is literally a smokescreen because Mueller is actually working with Trump, and Trump, the hero, is going to expose all these small L liberal pedophiles, like everyone in Hollywood, all the Democrats, everyone they don't like in the media and Hollywood is a pedophile that's about to be exposed. And the whole Mueller thing was just a cover. That's fallen apart more than a little with the convictions in the last week. Trump's lawyer and Trump's former campaign manager both being found guilty of very serious crimes. His lawyer, Cohen, pled guilty, but his former campaign manager didn't plead guilty, but got found guilty of enough serious offences to actually be in jail for life. So, surprise, surprise, the absolutely ridiculous QAnon conspiracy doesn't really hold up with these convictions. Milk my man tits. Look, I get what you're saying. There is one school of thought that says removing Alex Jones from social media feeds into his conspiracy nutbag. But these people already believe those deranged conspiracies. Uh, Giving Jones a platform to tell vicious lies that ruin people's lives and endanger people's lives, that's a bad thing. Uh, his deranged followers don't believe him less when he's given a huge public platform. I am 100% in favor of him being held to account on these public platforms because they have rules. Even Jones's own InfoWars website has basically the exact same rules. That obviously they don't apply them to themselves. But and I'm with you, Miss Foxification. Jones should have been booted off these platforms years ago because what he's doing is a blatant breach of the terms of service, both in terms of hate speech and incitement against people. And it's I do not agree that there are a lot of people who are saying, oh, you make him look like the victim, you make him look wrong. No, fuck it. It makes a difference when these people don't have a huge platform because they pollute public discourse. Jones has nothing to offer. His shit is deliberate lies designed to whip up extremely gullible people and ultimately have them buy shitty products that he sells them. His goal is not to wake up the masses and have political change. His job is to fleece money off gullible idiots. And he does it by whipping them up, getting them agitated, and then making them think they have secret knowledge. And then he goes, ooh, and your secret knowledge gets stronger if you buy these products. Like, it's so, you look at his website, it's so blatant. He's just a fucking shyster, con artist. Tendo, you think the Reddit admins should ban the Donald subreddit? Which one did they ban? They banned the incels one because it was constantly talking about murder and straight up acts of mass terrorism. I'm not sure what else they actually banned. But yes. Yeah, yeah, this Foxification, he's the classic snake oil salesman. He is literally selling worthless supplements as if they're some fucking great fucking revelation. Oh my god, did Jim Jeffries have QAnon people on? Wow. Okay, I haven't seen that episode, but that would be something to behold because I think when you get the whole QAnon, they're divided into two groups. One are the people who are making shit up and exploiting the gullibility of others to basically foment discontent uh, and try to whip up these extremists. But the other half are the ones who full on believe all this utterly nonsensical stuff that's absolutely unsupportable, that stuff that requires you to ignore dozens of pieces of evidence, and there is no evidence whatsoever to support the QAnon stuff. There is zero evidence to support. It's just all really, really unhinged conspiracies. It's really something to behold. Oh yes, I see. I do remember Jones going into the Bohemian Grove, and that's the it's that big meeting that the conspiracy theorists love to go on about. The Bilderberg group. That was the Bilderberg group, wasn't it? Aish. Imagine we woke up and Pauline Hanson was declared emperor. Well, I think it's one of the things that makes it good that we don't have a presidential system, because we are slightly less at the mercy of that populist bullshit. Because to get to be head of government here, you have to get to be the head of the party that wins the most seats. So there are a few hurdles to someone like Trump. It's certainly not insurmountable, but there are at least a couple of hurdles. So yeah, it's one of the reasons. Kind of glad we don't have a presidential system. But then we get a completely different argument about the fact we have a foreign head of state who has in the past sacked our democratically elected government. So that's not good either. Oh yeah, feel it and seal it. I saw that bit of video of Jones, talking darkly about you. Take out the people in the government. They're coming for you. Get ready. Get armed. Get ready to fight. He has to know there are people listening to him who are completely disconnected from reality and will take what he says absolutely literally, and will take it upon themselves to murder people in the government or people who work for the government, as has happened many times in the past. So, yeah, he is a bad, bad person. Do not like. Oh, look, I'm out of drink. I think while I drink. First, I need some ice. I need to consider myself. Irish, I agree we should have an Australian head of state. It's just quite a complex process to change our legislation so that we can have an Australian head of state, which sounds quite shitty, really, but it is not straightforward to change our constitution to that degree. We would have an Australian head of state. I agree, it's an important thing, but it's no easy process to get there, quite honestly. Now, I've got to consider on the drinks front, what do I want to have? Because I like making cocktails, I have a lot of different things up there. Oh look, maybe I should do a Jaeger bomb or something. What's that? I'll go on that. First I better get some ice. I'll do that first. Okay, so some ice. Ice, baby. Okay, so I've forgotten what alcohol content is this. Safest not to drink while pregnant. Okay, that is higher alcohol than I remember, 35%. Okay. Oh, Tendai, I heard Trump spoke up about the South African farmers, didn't he? That is the pet topic of the super racists of the Western world. And that's just whipping them up, basically. Yes. Ooh, an herbal tonic for me. Milk my man tits. You think it'll help my mullet grow if I have some VB? I am not a beer drinker, which is very un-Australian of me, I know. But I do not drink beer at all. I just don't like it. Oh, Charlie, you're going to vote for it. No, I simply don't like beer. I don't drink beer at all. We're going to drink that type of thing. I would drink cider. Ha! Tazzy, you're supposed to be doing an essay, but the political craziness has distracted you. It is. We are living in interesting times, as the saying goes. My favourite thing about that, I'm sure most of you, if not all of you, have heard the saying that there's a proverb that says, "May you live in interesting times." It's supposed to be, whether it's Confucian, some sort of ancient Chinese proverb that says, "May you live in interesting times." It's just no one's sure if that's a blessing or a curse? You're right, Miss Foxification. Is it an insult? Is it a positive or a negative? You know, do you regard it as a blessing? Yes, I'd like it to be interesting. Or is it interesting, as in out of control and oh my god, what's happening? Video games. You're doing YouTube thumbnails instead of political stuff. That's a good use of your time. Yeah, that looks like Pepsi. I think I need to blow my nose. I keep thinking I'm getting a cold. I have this mild congestion. I'll do the gross thing off camera. Go over here and get a tissue. No, it didn't happen at all. I thought that might clear my nose. It didn't really do anything. Oh well. Catherine, you finished dinner. Do you do the dishes or veg out and listen? Well, I hate to be you know, an evil source of temptation, but clearly I think you should stay here. Oh my God, Taz, you've got 20 hours to finish a 1,500 word essay. How many words have you done so far? That's the big thing. Ha! Sorry, Jacob. You're writing about defunct Australian theme parks, the only industry less stable than our government. This is my first visit to the US. I was really amazed at their theme parks and how big they were, and obviously how much money is spent on them. It's like going to Vegas and seeing how much money is spent on just keeping you there and keeping you entertained, so you spend money. They realize that it isn't just that the US population is 10 times larger than Australia's. They have a huge tourist population as well. So they can afford to have these things much bigger than we have in Australia, simply because they have many more people to spend money on them. Oh my God. Chaz, you've done about 900 words. A lot of pathophysiology on blood loss and spinal injuries. Very content heavy. Oh my God. Okay, I'm just trying to remember. You get about 250 words to a page, and you have to do that. God, even if I was like really knocking it out of the park, God, it would take me at least 3 hours to finish that. I think I'm just going on how because I have timed myself before when I was writing stuff, how long it took me to do a page. I reckon that would take me, if I was really firing and I wasn't being delayed, it'd probably take me about 3 hours to finish, to get from 900 words to 1,500. And that is a tough topic. That's all tied into the paramedic stuff, yeah? We should have a public holiday every time we change prime minister. These guys. Oh, and you raise a good point, Irish, about the pensions they get. The benefits a former politician, particularly a former minister, let alone a former prime minister, the perks they can milk us for as like hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. Video games. Saying, did the dislikes watch up? I don't know. I don't really see them from here. I think there are some saddos that spend a little bit of time obsessing over me. Which I just think it's funny. It's like, because I get the ones that make me laugh are the ones that try and make me feel bad for making my videos. And I was going like, well, you're the sad fucker wasting your life watching them and obsessing about me, particularly Alex Jones fans. Like when I get really angry comments on an old Alex Jones videos, and they're really working. They go, "Fuck you, man! You suck!" And I can tell, like, it makes me giggle. It's like, you're really upset. Now, if I'd found something that I didn't like on the internet, my reaction would be to not indulge it, to not encourage it, to not let the person in question know that they'd upset me. Because when I get messages that make it clear that I've upset an idiot Alex Jones fan, I laugh, because that's just fucking hilarious to me that the sad fucks got worked up by what I did. So yes, their abusive messages have exactly the opposite effect that they're hoping for. It's just like, haha, I upset you. That's funny. I'm getting a laugh out of that. I'm going to find an opportunity to upset you again in the future. Attendo, yes, there is a new Predator movie coming out called The Predator, I understand. Which will probably suck, but who knows? I'll probably watch it. Not necessarily in the cinemas, but I'll watch it at some point. I suspect it's going to suck. Like the recent Alien movies, the Prometheus and the Alien one that was a sequel to Prometheus. They had some good stuff in them, but they sort of broadly suck. And you're right, this foxification. Yeah, they are literally telling me I have power over them. I'm living rent free in their brains. I don't even know they exist. Tassie, do I think Dutton is Abbott's puppet? I read that rumor this afternoon, which that really took me by surprise, that some people are saying if there's a vote in the party room, that Abbott will actually stand, that he's been using Dutton all along as a front. You got to go off, Pat-Man. Thanks for dropping by, mate. Yeah, that really surprised me, that Abbott thinks that he has some sort of chance if he stands in a vote, and he knew nobody would push a vote on his say-so, so he used that's just surreal. He's such a wrecker. It does my head in. Like that guy is just fueled by spite. It's absolutely amazing. But yeah, who knows? Who knows? Like, so many in the last 24, 48 hours, so many rumors circulated. Quite a few of them proved to be unfounded. We don't really know what's going to happen. Hey, David, how are you going? But it's certainly colourful. It's certainly very, very colourful what we're seeing. Video games and Ruka-san, we all want to forget about Abbott, but he's determined that we don't get to forget about him. He's just really... There was a hilarious tweet I saw earlier. Someone said that Dutton's going to all the ministers who aren't voting for them and showing them their ASIO file. It's like J. Edgar Hoover style, saying like, I've got all the dirt on you, motherfucker. Vote for me or I'll get you. I'm just looking to see if there's any more fun videos or rumors floating around. It is quite surreal how far they are willing to go with some of these rumors about who's involved, who's who's making a move, who's not making a move, who supports who's going to stand, who's not. It's the rumors are going wild. So who knows? I mean, I just laugh because it gives me a lot of material to work with. It's you know, it's great for me to just have a lot of material to work with. But you know, they're busy destroying themselves. I'm all for it. Al Salvador, I think Abbott will become a Dutton minister. That was one interesting thing that people put forward, that if Dutton was PM, he might put Abbott on the front bench and he might put Abbott in the portfolio that he had created for himself, which is the most scary, damaging place Abbott could be, quite honestly. Flying taller, if I think Turnbull goes, will he trigger a by-election? I think, if I understand what people have been saying, I think Turnbull has point blank said if there's a vote, he won't stand and he'll resign, which will trigger a by election. Throws the whole thing into turmoil. Video games. What happens in Australia is probably not the end of the world. You've got to be more worried about what's happening in places like America, Russia, Europe, the Middle East, Korea, the Koreas. As much as we shake our heads and going, what the fuck with Australian politics, very, very little influence on the world stage. Just the only thing it's got going for it. As Eric said, the lip spill thing can be explained as it's a fascinating voyage of pain and despair that makes you emotionally drained yet satisfied, like fucking a burning dolphin. Holy cow. Oh, now you're just reminding me of the Crossed comic, which is sick as fuck. And they had a web comic that opened with, yeah, one of these infected, crazy people fucking a dolphin's blowhole. But anyway, Peter, who's the man? Who's the PM? It's still Turnbull, but there is, in all probability, a party room vote tomorrow. And from what I understand, from what Turnbull said, if there is a party room vote, uh, he won't stand. So he won't be Prime Minister. Someone else will be. Who knows? Apparently, the ones officially in the running are Dutton, Morrison, and Bishop. And there's this wild, crazy rumor that Abbott reckons he would stand in a vote as well, but who knows? Well, David, you are absolutely right. Mal could say "fuck you all" and go to the Governor General and call an election. I'm not sure exactly what the legality of it is. We may be close enough to when the election has to happen that Turnbull could said, "Government's in disarray. We should have the election now." I'm not sure of the legality of that. And hello, Lion Spider and Seth. Nice to see you. Yeah, Miss Fox, because the government only has a one-seat majority. So if Turnbull quits, there's a by-election, and there's no guarantee that a Liberal would win that. An independent might win that. I might actually, seeing we're on the internet, I'll see if I can find out the swing that would be required for Labour to win Wentworth. Okay. So the Libs have like a almost 20% uh, vote in their favour. So Labor is not going to turn that around. But what could happen if Turnbull resigns, the Liberal voters might be so upset they might vote for a Conservative independent as a protest against the government. So yeah. Yeah, Catherine, I do remember after the 2011 election, it was so close. We didn't know who the PM was for a while. Yes. Oh, okay. Thank you for that little bit of knowledge, David. The legal thing, the earliest possible date for a general election, House of Reps and Half Senate, was 4th August. So we're past that. So, okay, assuming that, Turnbull could just go to the GG and says, fuck all these guys, this government's out of control, time to call an election. And he kind of seems like he's super pissed off. He really does seem like he's super pissed off and might actually do that. On this Foxification, I'm with you. I wouldn't be surprised if the Liberal Party room actually devolves into an actual physical fight. Oh, you're also right about the independence misfoxification. I think Hanson's more or less on record as she won't support a no confidence vote against the government. But the others who have previously supported them, as you say, South Australia's Conservative Independent, Tim Storer, Darren Hinch, I think there's every chance they might support a no confidence vote. Who knows? Who knows? But yeah, it'd be fun if Turnbull just spits the dummy completely and says, general election time. Spidey, do you think you should hand out a can of mace to each Liberal Party member when they go into the party room and the next PM is last idiot standing? Well, that seems about as valid as anything else, quite honestly. Video games. You've been doing a thumbnail for your video discussing the video game Shenmue. Okay, I am interested. I have not heard of that game. Elaborate. I'd be interested. Oh, sorry, Line Spider. I got it wrong. You meant a medieval mace, not a can of mace. You think they should club each other into submission? That's very old school of you. That is very old school of you. Oh my God, Safa, no, I did not hear what Corey Bernardi says. I assume something awful, something absolutely horrible is what I expect Corey Bernardi said. You know, he's like a lying, slimy system abuser who was elected as a Liberal senator and would never have been elected as an independent, but gave a big middle finger to the system and said, "Oh no, I'm going to be an independent now." It's like, yeah, he's fucking garbage. He's absolute fucking garbage. That guy. No, Line Spider. No one listens to Corey, and he's very upset about it. Yeah, said should call it Battle Royale, Australian politics Battle Royale. You know, the fortnight of Australian politics. Last one standing gets to be PM. Yeah, can you imagine actually do like a live Battle Royale type thing, hide weapons all around Parliament House. The Libs have to run around and find weapons and take other people down. Safi, he said both sides are as bad as each other. Well, that's quite mild from him. Oh, God, Rick said Mark Latham, also garbage. David, I did see that. This always happens when there's someone high profile in politics who's unpopular. There's always someone on Twitter who has the same name as them. And there's been a few Peter Duttons getting a bad time. And there's one who's like, this guy's over and goes, look, could you please look at my profile? I'm a 30-year-old black man, not the politician that you're angry at. Okay. Jonah. Oh, okay. It's first time in the live stream. Good to see you. I'll still be around for like half an hour or so, 40 minutes. So I hope you enjoy yourself. We're having fun. There's a lot to talk about, obviously. And I think we can all agree that Mark Latham is worthless fucking garbage. He's just like the worst, most horrible sort of garbage human about. Yes, and there were the rumors of him talking One Nation, which would be hilarious because where Hanson has fallen down repeatedly is getting involved with people with out of control egos and her out of control ego has clashed with their out of control ego and brought the whole thing crashing down. And yeah, Latham is all ego, and bloody that he would be the end of One Nation, which would be hilarious. Hey, AngryPixie, I have not started playing Dad of Boy, but I did buy it. I went shopping and I bought Deadpool 2 and God of War, aka Dad of Boy, and it's yeah, I'm looking forward to playing it. Also, how did people vote for Latham 2004? Because he was, well, again, people didn't vote for Latham. He was the leader of the Labour Party. And I think at the time, no one knew how unstable Latham was. But there were signs. If you remember, there were two big signs that Latham was out of his depth and would have been a very bad prime minister. One is the weird handshake that he did with John Howard at the start, which was kind of reminiscent of Donald Trump's handshake. And the other one was there was some event. It was a bad event. I don't remember if it was the Beaconsfield mine or something else. Whereas straight away something bad happened, and John Howard made a public statement straight away about, oh, this is bad, our thoughts are with them, blah, blah, blah. And Latham took days to make a public statement. People kept saying to him, why the fuck aren't you making a public statement? It's like he just seemed totally out of his depth. And his hideous behavior since he left public office has shown he's a terrible, terrible person. Like, although it's no secret I support Labor over the Liberals every time. It appears we all dodged a bullet with the potential of PM Latham, because he was, man, that guy is just disconnected from reality. Celtic King, am I naked beneath these clothes? No, I have more clothes on beneath these clothes, quite honestly. Resident Evil. I played one of the Resident Evil games. It was kind of fun. David, what do I think of Keating? Keating's politics are more conservative than mine, but he's certainly a very intelligent person. And I did love his rather colourful invective. Jonah, I will agree with you that Latham on Outsiders is unwatchable, and I don't watch it. There are certain things I just don't subject myself to because I think they would be too unwatchable. Although, at everyone's behest after Tuesday night's live stream, I'm going to try and do a live stream watching Q&A next Monday night, because they have a bunch of the most hideous conservatives in Australia on the panel, and it should really get me fired up. Agro, if I seen Clive's go get him again, do you mean all those fucking billboards he's posting everywhere? Heavily photoshopped pictures of Clive Palmer to make himself look slim using Donald Trump slogans. Oh, God. Fucking Clive Palmer's a fucking idiot. Tara, you're absolutely right. And Latham doesn't just attack the trans community; he attacks everyone, and he is a toxic cunt. He's fucking awful. Ha! Getting a yogurt, checking your cousin's sleep. Fair enough. It is. Look, Ruka-san, it's possible. I might have a heart attack watching it. Yeah, that's it, Agro Pixie. Make Australia great again, cunt. Clive Palmer is just a pathetic joke. He is a pathetic joke. Like, he set up his Palmer Party, which imploded spectacularly, and all his business deals have collapsed. You know, he's probably going to end up in jail, quite honestly. because of all the shit he's done in the businesses and the people he owes money to and the questionable expenditures. I would not be at all surprised if Clive Palmer ended up in jail for corporate malfeasance. Yeah, I reckon he's going to be super lucky if he never goes to jail. He probably, at the very least, is going to end up with millions of dollars in fines for corporate misdeeds. But I honestly reckon he'll be super lucky to not end up in jail. Yeah, Celtic King, I am in fact sinning against VD's God at the moment. Some of this kind of looks like cola, doesn't it? Because it's like, yeah, you're in lemonade. But it's a herbal tonic. It's healthy. What's it? In your hands, you hold the Jägermeister based on secret recipe of 56 selected botanicals, out of which our elixir is gently extracted. Then it resides in oak barrels to harmonize a herbal liqueur. It's a health tonic, basically. That's what I'm drinking. It is a botanical herbal health tonic, and I won't hear anything else said about it, quite honestly. It is essentially medicine. I'm drinking medicine. Ha. And yes, tomorrow when I have a bit of free time myself, I'll make a few cocktails. I think my favorite cocktail is variation on the sour, and yeah, use the different sorts of whiskey. Oh, what does that say on the fridge? That is a name we had for a YouTube game. It's actually a magnet. Magnet I had done on a website, Oz1. It's a name we had for a YouTube gathering a few years ago. And I had these things done for no particular reason, but they were cheap. So yes. Jonah, Jaeger, the smell of every uni college corridor on a Sunday morning. Well, I don't abuse, like everyone does Jaeger bombs, which is a Jaeger shot dropped into a glass of like Red Bull or something. And I don't binge drink. And, I do like a little bit of a dip. And I like, I like when we have these talks to have a drink or two. I don't always, but I do like to. And usually on Friday and or Saturday night, I might have cocktails with Mrs. Angry. If we're at home, I might make some at home from my various beverages. We're going out on Saturday night. Going to go to the old Gold Class cinemas, going to see the new Mission Impossible movie, which has been spectacularly well reviewed. And the cinema we're going to, they have a bar next to the Gold Class where they make decent cocktails. So we're going to go early and have a couple of cocktails before the movie. And, a little night out, dinner, cocktails, movie. I'm a man of simple pleasures. Felix, I agree with you. It does actually sound like a political party, Oz1. Christopher, who's going to be new Prime Minister? That's what we've been talking about. Will it be Dutton? Will it be Morrison? Will it be Bishop, Julie Bishop? Or will Tony Abbott rear up? Tony Abbott seems to think he's the answer to everyone's prayers. He's such an... Tendo, I don't think Movie Pass ever existed in Australia. Locust Trooper, it's a Village cinema. Village do the thing with a Gold Class, and they have a bar attached to the Gold Class cinemas. So if it's my bladder lasts for a whole movie, usually. I don't usually have to go out for a movie. But do you ever get that thing? Like, okay, because the Mission Impossible movie's like 2.5 hours long or something. You get the thing where you have had a drink and you go, I'm going to hold it on, and then you get up and go, okay, I survived the movie. I'm going to go. And you go, oh my god, my blood is so. You don't think where you have to walk really carefully because you go, I'm just barely holding it together, and I've got to tense all my muscles as I walk to the toilet. And you're just like, oh my god, no, I've got to walk really carefully and get there. And every step is like pain, and you're just going, oh my god. Like when you get that thing where suddenly, like you really have to do a crap, and you're having stomach cramps, and you're going like, okay, I've got to get up. And you stand up and go, oh wait, no, I don't want to shit myself. No, and you're doing the same thing. It's like, okay, I'm holding everything in, holding it in, holding it in. And you get these stomach cramps. You go, oh my god, I don't know if I'm gonna. And each step, you're worried that like when you take a step, you're gonna release. Got to release too early. You go, no, I got to hold. Oh my god, I've got to take really slow, careful steps, but I want to take quick steps because I want to get to the toilet. It's like, oh my god, I'm gonna fucking die. I'm gonna die before I get there. This is a fun conversation, isn't it? Celtic King, poor bloody VD got bashed for preaching to prisoners again. He tried to baptize someone who didn't want to be baptized, and he's into immersion baptism. So how was he going to do that? Oh my god! I feel sorry for him, but what a wally! Oh my god! Locust Trooper, what am I going to watch? I'm going to watch the new Mission Impossible movie. I did go to the movies with youngers during the day because I had a day free. Went and saw Black Klansman. That was good. The new Spike Lee movie about the black cop who, with the help of a white cop, infiltrates the Ku Klux Klan in the 70s. And I tell you what, and there's lots of obvious parallels to our modern world. Obviously with Trump and the right. Man, the end of the movie hits hard. I found like the impact at the end of the movie is really strong. Yes, Wolfer, you're right. That's the double bad thing about when you're busting in, you're just holding everything, trying to get. As you get closer, your brain's going, yeah, we're almost there. Let's relax. No, don't relax yet. Don't relax yet. No. Oh my gosh, Jaffa. The worst pitch he had to do was when a character in The Force Awakens died. I almost never go out of a movie to do a piss. I just really hold on to it. I can remember, like, the last movie I can consciously remember having to go out of to do a piss was actually The Matrix. And so that was a long time ago. And it was funny, yeah, then watching it. I don't think I watched it again until it was on, like, video. And like, oh, this is the bit where I went to. Okay, I don't know what happened to you. That's interesting, right? Christopher, Black Klansman's not about white guilt unless you're a Klansman. The movie is about real events. It's not fabricating anything. It is about literal, real events. You're a tough motherfucker. But building more public housing, I'm all for it. I'm absolutely all for it. I'm a big welfare state person. Oh, Jacob, your brother's home. Okay, see ya. Oh, grow up, child. Sorry, Jonah. I have a bad family. A hot tip, cut a hole in one of the large cinema cups. No need to come for your seat for a slash. You don't need to cut a hole. You just like piss in the top. But that is very wrong, dude. That is very wrong. Pissing in your cinema cups. So that's why you bought the FTA Blu-ray. Okay, I feel like I should know what abbreviation you're doing there for FTA, but I can't work it out. What movie are you abbreviating to FTA? I just got the Deadpool 2 disc. Watch the extra version. They've got a version with just a few little extra bits in it scattered throughout. Most of them only go for a couple seconds. And then I watched all the extra features, which was probably over an hour of extra features. It was good. So I still don't know what you mean by TFA Blu-ray. Locust Trooper, a good joke. What do you call a Nazi that talks shit a hole in the universe? I don't get it. Sorry. Line Spider, have a long distance driving story. Oh, I've done it. I've done it driving. I've done it driving, pissing in a bottle while driving. Oh God, you thought someone thought it was a juice. Oh no, that's bad. That is very bad. That's an interesting one, video games. Every time I do a live stream, a channel you subscribe to called SNES Drunk uploads. There's a connection. There's some sort of connection. Ah, Safa, The Force Awakens. I should have got that. Yes. Okay. Ooh, misclassification. That's interesting. Remember that number crunchers. Mark Riley from Channel 7 says, number crunchers tell me early count has Scott Morrison ahead of Peter Dutton and Julie Bishop as the next Prime Minister. The rumours the last couple of days should have told everyone gossip like that is meaningless. Oh, God, well, you got a jury duty letter in the mail. Wow. Wow. I'd be interested to hear what comes for it. Oh, God, that is a terrible and wonderful pun, Tendai. Crime in multi-story car parks. It's wrong on so many different levels. Oh, I love awful puns. That's a spectacular one. Celtic King, can you give me a blowjob? I've told you before, man. Monogamous relationship. I'm sorry, but you miss out. You know, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but you're gonna miss out. Lions Spider, you've done jury duty. I never have actually. Lucas, do I think you're a bogan working in trading? No, dude, I'm 100% in favor of people working in trades. Anyone who gets snobby about trades, fuck them, man. If anyone ever gets snobby at you for being a tradie, fuck them. They've just outed themselves as a dickhead. Life doesn't continue without people in the trades, okay? We all rely on people in the trades, and I'm so fucking down on anyone who picks on people in trade. Not least because my older brothers were brickies labourers and whatnot. So, you know, I grew up with them trying to. Celtic King, I have a magical dick. I don't hold it against you at all, both literally and metaphorically. Raylene, you're at the last Star Wars Midnight release. Guy got tossed out for pissing in his drink cup. Oh, that's awful. That is absolutely awful. That's terrible. I never went to a midnight one, but what I did is the last two Star Wars. What did I go? I went to. Oh, it might have been the. I know I did it for Rogue One and The Last Jedi. I might have done it for The Force Awakens as well. Didn't actually go to a midnight one, but I went to one that was early in the morning, like that finished before I was due at work. So I got like 5 or 6 a.m. I went to a 5 or 6 a.m. screening, went straight on to work after that. Jonah, we need to encourage more people to take up trades. Yes, I 100%. I mean, yes, encouraging people to go into uni is good, but we should be at least equally encouraging people to go into trade. Not least because it's not just that we rely on tradies to keep life running, but you make a really good living as a tradie as well, and you accomplish things as a tradie. No, I'm fucking anyone who shits on tradies. Fuck them, fucking obnoxious pricks. Locus, oh yes, because you know I'm in IT. What got me into IT? It's weird. I'm fucking useless at trades. Even doing like woodwork and metalwork at school, I was fucking terrible. Like I'm incompetent at physical stuff. But I did a lot of voice work. I worked in like customer service centers, like talking to people on the phone, because I'm a good talker, as you might notice. So after I finished uni, I did some work in customer service, and then I was a team leader at one call center, and but I always liked computers, and we used a couple different systems to run the call center, and I used to suggest various things we should do to fix it. One day the manager just said to me, look, you seem to be the only one who has any understanding of the systems. We need a new business analyst. We need someone who helps develop systems. And I didn't know what that was. He said, go talk to the IT manager. And the IT manager told me what a business analyst was. And I said, I reckon I can do that. And so I learned on the job to be an IT business analyst. And that's what I've been doing for a couple of decades now, to the point where they pay me a fucking shit ton of money because I'm super smart and no more shit. So it pays quite well now. Yeah, I ended up in IT almost accidentally. I never planned to be in IT. It just kind of happened. And also, I did uni. I did a BA, but it was a theatre degree. I wanted to be a performer. I wanted to be an actor. The last serious audition, this is my early 20s. The last serious audition I went for, I was considered for 2 roles, and I'm not making this up. It was for a movie called Spotswood, and the 2 roles I was considered for went to Russell Crowe and Ben Mendelsohn. So I didn't feel too bad that they were the guys who beat me up. Feeler, Will, do I see Grasshopper? No, I don't. Why would I not see someone who's in the chat? That's really weird. Oh, like a stripper. I'm not scared. IT industry gets ourselves some more. Dude, it definitely, like, my pay has barely gone up in the last 10 years, although I think we're all facing that. But it's because they outsource a lot of IT work. It is a constant struggle. But I mean, God, what we're likely to see a revolution in automation and AI and robotics in the next decade or two. People won't believe the number of jobs that get replaced. Will, see, if I'd blocked him, he wouldn't be able to be in chat. I don't know what's happening. Yeah, Jonah, Spotswood, that's an Anthony Hopkins movie. That I would have loved to have fucking been on an Anthony Hopkins movie. My God. Yeah, but it didn't happen. And so, yes, I gave up on being an actor in my early 20s. I went for a few auditions, everything from commercials to soap operas to movies. Didn't really get any. I had like what's called a featured extra role. It means it wasn't a speaking role, but I was kind of central to a scene in a pseudo documentary, and that was the high point for me. It was about private investigators. I was someone who was committing insurance fraud, faking an injury, basically. Yeah, no, Charlie, I have live. I know exactly what you're saying. I have live chat on. Uh, uh, I don't know what the story is. So, Grasshopper, I don't know why I can't see. Message me your YouTube channel link on Twitter or Facebook. I want to try and work out what the problem is, Grasshopper, because this does not make any sense to me. Video games, you're interested to be an extra. Have fun, man. Tough motherfucker. Did I grow up in rural Victoria? No, in rural New South Wales. I grew up in Dubbo in Western New South Wales. Lived in capital cities for a while now, but grew up in the country in Western New South Wales. No, Jonah, I never thought about moving to LA and trying to get my big break. Never occurred to me. Oh, yes, Locust, that's how I met AZ. We did the same theatre media degree. Thank you, Tara. You sent me the channel on what medium did you send me the channel? Is it Facebook or Twitter? Let me have a look if it's on Messenger. I'm just very intrigued as to what it might have been. Although now my laptop is being very unresponsive. There it is. Now I do see the message you sent me now, Tara. I just am going to really quickly look because I don't know why it would be doing that to me. I should be able to see him. But again, YouTube behaves in weird and strange ways. Let me see. I'm following. This is just one of those things. I just want to know what's happening. Yeah, Grasshopper, you're not there. I didn't accidentally block you. I have no idea why I can't see you in chat. It's absolutely ridiculous. Well, one of those friggin' mysteries, man. I do not know what's going on. Bloody weird. Locust Trooper, am I any good at acting? Kinda, okay, yeah. Tough motherfucker. I did watch rugby league growing up, but I would not call myself a rugby league fan. Used to be a St. George supporter back in my country days. Oh, I'm talking about acting. You're right, Feeler Sealer. Extras by the Ricky Gervais series Extras is brilliant. What I love is there's like a running joke in Extras. There's a guest star in every episode, and it's someone quite famous, and they're playing themselves. They're playing themselves as a horrible person. Absolutely hilarious. I don't know how he talked them into doing it, but I find it absolutely hilarious. Oh, Lex Trooper, can I do American accents? With a bit of practice, yeah. AZ is the accent person, actually. AZ is super good at accents. Video games, you learn. YouTube is weird, man. You had a Banjo-Kazooie live stream. Yeah, finding stuff on YouTube is so hard these days. Celtic King, you're recommending me to the wrong people. I think I'm a shit cunt. Look, anyway, I'm not for everyone, man. I'm not for everyone. See, okay, Grasshopper, I don't know how the YouTube chat thing works. So I don't know how to try and find you on here. Because I did just look on YouTube and I haven't blocked you or anything. I can see your channel. I don't know what's going on. Okay, Stripper, what do I think about Joe Rogan? Oh, he can be funny. I disagree with him on a lot of stuff. He can be funny. It's like, I suppose I do the same thing he does in that he talks in absolutes. I suppose I do the same thing. But it's like, I feel like I'm being the dude in The Big Lebowski, where when he asserts some stuff and he seems to be suggesting it's like an irrefutable fact. I'm going, oh yeah, well that's just like your opinion, man. Because I mean, I don't really listen to Joe Rogan's podcast or anything, but I've seen stuff he's said and whatnot. It's like I think there's a bunch of stuff that Joe Rogan and I agree on quite explicitly, but I also think there's some stuff where we disagree. And I suppose that's the nature of life, quite honestly. with people, you agree on some things and you disagree on others. But yeah, he's it's almost a stereotype to say sometimes you can really tell Joe Rogan likes to smoke dope. Because there are times where I feel like his logic, his reasoning, his worldview seems to be really influenced by how much dope he smokes. But like I said, when I see him, there's clearly a lot of stuff with Joe Rogan that we think along very similar lines. But there is also stuff where I quite disagree with him. Yeah, this is the way things are. Yes, Jonah, the rug really tied the room together. Yes, I like the Big Lebowski. That's rude, Celtic King. I'm not saying I haven't thought of similar things, like because I live in the really Jewish part where you're saying you're a Jewish person and you offer them a kosher bacon sandwich. Of course, doesn't exist. Yes, when I was living in the Jewish areas and there was an Orthodox Jewish bakery that also made pizzas, I noticed they didn't have Hawaiian on the menu. They didn't have ham and pineapple. And you could well ask them why not. The reason why not is quite obvious, of course. Not kosher. But it's funny because living in the Jewish areas of town at the significant Jewish holidays, Passover, etc., the supermarkets are full of Jewish kosher products. You get kosher Coke, Passover Pepsi. I just find that hilarious. Like, really? You have to have a special Coke and a special Pepsi? Okay. Like, Trippy, you're surprised I hate Bill Maher. I just think Bill Maher's really fucking slimy. And you are correct on a lot of topics. Bill Maher and I think along very similar lines, but I just think Bill Maher is a horrible fucking slimy person. I dislike him so much. There are a few key things where I really disagree with his view on things, but yeah, no, I just think he's a fucking slimy motherfucker. I really dislike him as a person, despite the fact on quite a lot of issues we think along very similar lines. But I think he's a fucking horrible person. I really dislike him as a person. That's just me. Well, we had all these talks about wanting to rush to the toilet during the movie, and I think I have had enough drink to consume that I do need to go to the laboratory. So it's almost 2 hours. It's a little bit early. It's a little bit earlier than I'd normally leave, but I honestly really need to go to the loo. That's probably all the detail. Look, oh my God, there are actually old live streams from when I was on, I think it was when I was on Blog TV. People basically dared me. I did, under camera view, piss into a bottle in a live stream. But I won't do that now. No, so far, I haven't had many scam calls recently. I tend to not answer my landline if it rings because no one calls me on the landline apart from scammers. The landlines are ridiculous. But I am going to go now, rush off the loo. So thank you very much, everyone, one and all, for joining me. You've been wonderful as per usual. In the words of a great Australian, I love yous all. And I hope to see you all again soon. Look after yourselves and bye now.